Women's World, proudly brought to you by Jacks of PNG.
Hello, I am Miriam Rakane and welcome to Women's World. This episode will be based on the Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary's Women's Advisory Network. One of the main visions of this network is to empower the work of policewomen throughout the country. It has committees together with national executive bodies in various provinces here in the country. On this episode, we will be speaking to members of this network. Well, they will be sharing with us some of the achievements of this network since its inception, together with some of the visions on how they aim to go ahead in their work, not only to empower policewomen here in the country, but also in regards to giving back to the community through various activities that they carry out. The Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary Women's Advisory Network is formed by the serving women from around the country. The network derives its authority by its virtue of membership of the Pacific Island Chief of Police Women Advisory Network under the PICP Secretariat. The RPNGC-1 is headed by President Inspector Jennifer Aiguilo and is supported by her Vice President Inspector Frida Woktamol. The general body is supported by national and provincial committees in various provinces around the country in which biannual meetings are held upon nomination. The first conference was held in Lae in 2016 and the last was in Kimbe in 2018.
In order to increase the leadership skills of the women, their communication skills, and to develop their constitution for the network. So we're hoping that in building these skills that they'll become more effective advocates for not only women in the police force but also in the community and be able to provide an even better service to the public.
The main mission of the RPNGC-1 mission is to support the empowerment and advancement of women in the RPNGC, both at work and in their personal lives as women in a male-dominated organization. We spoke to the Vice President of the RPNGC Women's Advisory Network together with her two other committee members who shared insights in regard to the importance of having such an establishment in the police force for women. The organization is volunteer-driven and provides an advocacy platform for policewomen to address issues such as harassment and discrimination in the workplace. It derives its structure and model from the regional body, the Pacific Island Chief of Police Women Advisory Network. One of the main aims of this network is to enhance the contribution of women in policing around the Pacific region.
It was back then in 1994 and 1997 under the former commissioner, Mr. Gary Baki, seeing that there was discrimination at the workplace and there was something that he needed to do to look at issues women face. So there was this desk called the EEO desk that it was established back in police headquarters under the Human Resource Division. Okay, back then in 1994, between 1994 and 1997, there wasn't much done. And in 1997, we had some issues women faced, but seeing that they were not addressed properly. So in 2004, PNG was one of the jurisdiction that RPNGC was one of the organization that signed the PICP one back in Fiji. So from there, when they came back, they saw that there was something that needs to be done. So from that conference, when they came back, they saw that it was a need for the desk to be maintained or looked after by women. So it was back in 2016. 2016, that was when Senior Sergeant Yabara, she came back and was called in to maintain or look into the issues of women. So that was when RPNGC 1 came into effect. So in 2018, still under the leadership of Mr. Baki, the former commissioner, we had the constitution signed. And from there we saw that assistants were coming from the AFP and women were being given the opportunities to upskill themselves for overseas development, all this, yeah. So these were some of the things that we saw that through this RPNGC 1 network. Being in the force, this is my 26th year, and most of my policing was with criminal investigation. And after being commissioned in 2013, I went back to the internal investigation division. That's where we deal with our own men. And it's one of the challenging jobs that I can say. You challenging your own men, you have to be more smarter when you're dealing with police officers. And the most rewarding that I see for the past 6 years I was with the Internal Affairs is being able to receive good court convictions. When you have, or when you receive phone calls back from the victims, you know, giving you the appreciation and the praise, the praise you for whatever you have done, and this is one of the rewarding things, especially the cases that I do. I go back in the remote areas. If it means I climb mountains, I do. If it means we cut bushes and the trucks or the vehicles to go, these are some of my experiences, and this is one of the rewarding things, yeah.
You are watching Women's World. Please stay with us as we have more after the break. The Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary Women's Advisory Network strives to have the rights of women in the police force upheld at all times, together with the promotion of equal opportunities. This can be seen through the development of workshops for women, female serving members of the force who vie to be successful and contributing just as their male counterparts.
Yeah, as a woman in a male-dominated organization, when you have the skills and the confidence, men, I see them as they are there for me to see, and whatever challenge they give it to me and I take it on board, and that's where you will see that you will learn plenty more things. For me personally, working with men, and for the past years, yes, for me I've been working with men and I've gained confidence by working with men, listening to them, taking the challenge. If it means you have to come out of your comfort zone, you come out and you will learn plenty things from men, yeah. So my advice to the woman is work with men. Men will give you more challenge, and yeah, you will build on from there. Okay, my advice to the ones interested to join the police is not like before. Now there's more opportunities, privileges, and for someone who is interested, especially women, join, get on board. There are more opportunities there. If it means you will come as a grade 12, there are opportunities there in the police, yeah.
My name is Cecilia Kosek. I'm the Vice Coordinator to NCD1. Okay, some of the challenges faced by the network itself, which is the RPNGC1, which is a Women's Advisory Network. There are many challenges. I will just name a few. Okay, first of all, we'll talk about lack of communication between the network and the management, meaning the top management. Also, we have logistics. And we also have financial support, meaning the challenges we face is one is financial support. Another thing, challenge is lack of awareness from the network itself, meaning that we need to go out and do awareness, telling our male counterparts that there is a network in place that will empower women. So males should look at a broader picture that women can also be part of the constabulary to develop and push the constabulary forward in anything they're able to do. In a male-dominated organization such as RPNGC, women are also able to handle and tackle jobs and that men can do. Okay, when you look at say, for instance, we have other specialist sections such as air wing, where women are now also in there doing what men has done previously. For one classic example is, as you can see now, our current Deputy Commissioner, Joanne Clarkson. She's at the top position where I see that women are able to handle anything men can do. So my message to our police officers, especially the women, is take whatever challenges and show our male counterparts that we are able to do whatever they can do.
My name is Jennifer Wakore, Inspector by rank, and I'm the NCD1 coordinator. There have been two conferences that were held 2 years interval, and during these conferences, the main agendas that were discussed were mainly on networking. And networking is all about effective and efficient, how best we can network with our sisters from the Pacific Island, because RPNGC is one of the sisters to the PICP1 in the Pacific. So how effective and efficiently our networking with the Pacific sisters as well as within ourselves. Well, as the coordinator for NCD1, we've come up with my team, we've come up with certain activities that we might take it on board from last year to this year. But from last year, we have started off with our fundraising. And this fundraising will enable us to attend the National Policemen's Conference, which was supposed to be held this year in Wabag. But unfortunately, because of the pandemic, and it did not eventuate. So from the past activities that we had fundraising, and we had some visitations to the hospitals. And with this year, we were thinking of some, but this, like I've said, because of the pandemic, it did not eventuate. But I think probably after the cleanathon, we might have something. I joined it in 1997. This year on the 9th of September was my 23 years in the organization. And from experiences, I grew up from within the police, I would say. My dad was a police officer and my grandfather, and we all came through this life. And since I joined it, I've seen mostly women in the organization are not like women from before, where we tend to incorporate in everything that we do. And but it's a challenge for us, I would say. It's a challenge because mostly it's a male-dominated field. And if men can do that, we women can do that too. So it's no difference in this organization. Well, the only thing that I could say to young females interested in stepping into a male-dominated field, whatever men can do, you ladies can do as well. That's all I could say. There's nothing impossible for a woman.
Coming up next, we share with you a community activity conducted by RPNGC 1 in their bid to give back to community. On the 26th of this month, the RPNGC1 NCD committee conducted a clean-a-thon at the Arakoni Beach, an initiative to give back to the community by policewomen in the nation's capital.
This clean-a-thon was arranged by one of the policewomen. It's her birthday today, but she thinks that forget about birthday, rather than go out and cleaning. So it was arranged for her and the family to come and do that. So when she posted on the NCD1 page, NCD Women's Advisory Network page, all the other policewomen saw that and they said, why can't we all get on board and do that? So she asked me as the vice president of the RPNGC Women's Advisory Network. She said, why can't you women come and take that? And I said, why not? We can always. So this is all from the personal setting. It gave back to the Women Advisory Network. So this morning, we, all the policewomen, with all our family, children, husband and wives, we came with other interested individuals just to do a clean-a-thon. But prior to doing the clean-a-thon, there was a 5-minute, between 5 and 10-minute cybercrime awareness, just to tell the children what is right and what is not right. Because now we have lots of scams and also abuse of young teenagers, especially going on Facebook, and yeah, just they did by giving some pamphlets, information sheets out. So after that, we went and straight to the clean-a-thon, and we also had the privilege of the AFP mission commander, Madam Cates, plus Phil Brown with other AFP officers. They thought this is one NCD1 coming and taking on board, so they fully support the one activities. That's when they had that, they came on board and assisted. So that's it. Just a clean-a-thon, and also to do awareness on, there's a network established within the RPNGC, the department. So with the establishment and the network of this woman, we thought we should come out. Other women can see and said, okay, there's a woman network within the police force. If they find something that they want to approach the women officers, they can always come. The national desk is established back at police headquarters, and it's coordinated by Marian Yabara. Okay. RPNGC1, we have executives. The president herself, she's in Kimbe, Inspector Jennifer Aguilo, myself, vice president, and the secretary, both secretary and the treasurer back in Ley. That's Senior Inspector Kumai and Katie Rimbao. Yes, the network is spread out across the country. Under the RPNGC1, we have other 21 provinces, and they're coordinated by each provincial coordinators. All these are women. Yeah, they look at the issues of women and what they can help, empower women in their own respective capacities. Yeah. So otherwise, just a clean-a-thon and to do awareness as well.
The event was also viewed as an avenue to raise awareness to those who attended on the importance of cyber safety by the Cyber Safety Pacifica team in partnership with Australian Federal Police.
I was supposed to, we started at 6:30. It's just only an hour clean-a-thon. So basically it's all the policewomen. We invited our children and for the kids, and I think some policemen came along too. It's a short notice, so maybe the next time we'll put the notice out earlier, so we should have a beach full of police officers out. Police ladies as well as men too. But for normal duties, policing duties, good to come out of the beach. And I'd say our PNGC1. One is the Women's Advisory Network, yeah, and we have this cyber safety program as well, so we're jointly working together. So we give the children the shirts to wear, and then we clean the beach.
The Women's Advisory Network for the RPNGC is something that is all throughout the Pacific countries. We have the widest range of countries, not just in the Pacific, but around the world, and AFP actively supports the Women's Advisory Network. We're trying to empower women from each and every law enforcement agency to have a voice by getting a collective together, and as the WAN president said today, there is over 200 females in the NCD alone, and that is a collective voice. The Commissioner listens to the Women's Advisory Network and actually it supports them in whichever way he can, and so the AFP gets behind the women, funding special events like this, and also we've just recently donated a vehicle for them to actually travel around NCD to do their important work. Up until then they were borrowing and whatever they could to actually promote women in policing and promote the activities that they're doing. So this vehicle has empowered them to actually do their job, which is absolutely what we are here to do, is to support women. With the Cyber Safety Pacifica, we've got it is a as the words say with Pacifica, it is throughout the Pacific and also now in Asia as well. So we've expanded out to there. The AFP supports that, and it's just trying to get that awareness of the dangers of using the internet. You know, like, and our biggest area we have to concentrate is making the children aware of the dangers that is on the internet. You know, everyone now is connected via their mobile phones, and you know everybody has that access to photos, to that, and so therefore the predators out there target these children. You know, mum and dad may be thinking that they're just playing a game on their phones, but in actual fact they're talking to somebody who is trying to harm them. So this Cyber Safety Pacifica awareness, it is only an hour, but we're trying to get people to be aware of the dangers. And lovely Sharon here, you know, she is one of our proponents. She's working within the Australian High Commission and she is an expert on delivering these presentations. So all I'm asking is to get the pamphlets, log on to Cyber Safety Pacifica. Just if you've seen the shirts today, have a look at the websites and actually learn all about the dangers and what is out there, and protect your children, which is our most vulnerable of the community. But thank you very much for this opportunity. I've really enjoyed coming out, and my first time in 9 months of actually walking on the beach. It is the nicest beach I've ever seen, so well done PNG. I've actually thoroughly enjoyed my 9 months here. I've still got another a year and a half to go, and all I do is appreciate the wonderful people that PNG are, and I'm thoroughly enjoying my mission. So thank you.
Thank you so much for watching Women's World, but unfortunately that is all we have for you in this episode. If you would like to know more about Women's World, or if you believe there is a story you would like to share with us, please contact us through the link which is appearing on your screen now, simply by liking our Facebook page and sending us a message. Until next time, I am Miriam Rakane. Please join me on the next episode of Women's World.
This program proudly brought to you by Jacks of PNG.